For many Iranians, the explosions may have lessened into the background, but the economic pain has become impossible to escape. Months of conflict, renewed US military strikes, and years of crippling sanctions have pushed millions of ordinary Iranians deeper into hardship. While the world's attention has focused on missiles, military targets, and diplomacy inside Iran, another battle is being fought. It is a battle to buy food, keep the lights on, find medicine, and simply survive. Across the country, families are watching their savings disappear as inflation continues to bite and the Iranian rial remains under intense pressure. Every day, essentials have become more expensive. Wages have failed to keep pace, and many businesses have been forced to reduce staff or close altogether. Even those with steady jobs, they say they are struggling to make ends meet. In southern Iran, where recent US strikes have disrupted energy infrastructure and trade routes, daily life has become harder. Residents speak of power cuts, rising transport costs, shortages of some goods, and growing uncertainty as damaged infrastructure affects businesses and communities. Shop owners say customers are buying less, while workers worry about whether their jobs will survive another month. The psychological impact is proving just as severe. Parents worrying about feeding their children. Young graduates wonder whether there is any future left for them inside the country. Business owners who survived years of sanctions now face fresh economic shocks. Many families are relying on relatives living overseas to send money simply to cover basic living costs. Yet despite growing frustration with years of economic hardship and political isolation, many Iranians have reacted to the latest US attacks not by demanding political change, but by expressing their anger that foreign military action has made an already desperate situation even worse. Ordinary people increasingly feel trapped between external pressure and domestic economic problems, believing they are paying the highest price for decisions beyond their control. Economists warn Iran now faces a long and difficult recovery. Investment has slowed, businesses remain cautious, and inflation continues to erode purchasing power. Unemployment is expected to remain high, especially among young people. While rebuilding damaged infrastructure could take years, for millions of Iranians, this is no longer simply a geopolitical crisis, it is a deeply personal one. Behind every headline about military strikes is a family wondering how to afford tomorrow's groceries, a shopkeeper counting fewer customers, a graduate searching for work, and parents trying to shield their children from a future that feels increasingly uncertain.
Iran's economic crisis did not begin with the latest US attacks. Years of sanctions, high inflation, a weakening currency, and deep structural problems had already placed enormous pressure on households. But the renewed conflict has intensified those problems, disrupting trade, damaging infrastructure, and further undermining confidence in an already fragile economy. Ports, energy facilities, and transport networks are central to Iran's economy. Any disruption quickly affects businesses, supply chains, and the cost of everyday goods. Companies dependent on imports and exports are facing delays and rising costs, while shortages of some products have pushed prices even higher. Many businesses have delayed investment, reduced staff, or suspended expansion plans because of the uncertainty. The biggest burden continues to fall on ordinary people. Families are spending more of their income on food, rent, and transport while having less left for healthcare, education, or savings. Many young Iranians are delaying marriage, putting careers on hold or looking overseas because they no longer believe they can build a stable future at home. The conflict has also created an emotional strain that is harder to measure. Constant uncertainty, fears of further attacks, and concerns about employment have left many people exhausted. While politics dominates international headlines, many Iranians say their greatest concern is much more immediate: whether they can pay the bills, keep their businesses open, and provide for their families. The economic damage is becoming one of the defining stories inside Iran. Rebuilding confidence, restoring investment, and improving living standards could take years. The greatest challenge facing Iran may ultimately not be military, but economic, as millions of ordinary people struggle with the long-term consequences of a conflict they did not choose.